row, those that want to talk. It's something I saw the City of Orange doing. It's the on-deck circle, the on-deck row. Looks like we're running out of, there we go, one more spot there. All right, who's first? Please, come on up. Tell us your name, if you would, please. And also, we have a book right over here. If it's a question that you need an answer to, or you just want us to know who you are, please sign in so we can get in contact with you. All right? Go ahead when you're ready.
I'm ready. Good evening, Mayor Anderson, council members. My name is Michele Collender. I come here today before you not only as a resident of Yorba Linda. My family has lived here for over 20 years, but as a grieving sister, grieving over the senseless, brutal murder of my brother by the Brea police. On June 30th, as you all should know, my brother, Julian Collender, was killed by the Brea police and left to die on the asphalt in the middle of the night in front of my parents' home. Julian was 25 years old. He had no prior record. And what you may not know, probably because the Brea PD is terrified of admitting it, my brother was unarmed when he was shot. Julian was shot with a high-powered assault rifle. The same assault rifle...
Michele, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to say one thing real quick. I think you know I work for the District Attorney's Office. The District Attorney's Office, the Special Assignments Division, is the one that is reviewing this shooting. I have nothing to do with that division. I head up the gang unit in my office. In talking with our city attorney, she indicated, because we heard that you might be here, that it's okay for me to hear this. But if ever a decision is necessary by this council, I won't take part in it. But I want to hear what you have to say tonight, but I wanted everyone to understand my position in that, and I'm very sorry to cut you off. Okay.
It's okay. I understand your position. Okay. I am familiar with that.
Okay.
We understand if you have to recuse yourself as well, but this is a human issue, this is a city issue, and I think everyone should know about it. So I'll continue. Thank you. As I was saying, Julian was shot with a high-powered assault rifle, the same assault rifle used by our soldiers in the Afghan and Iraq War. This is the deadliest weapon in the Brea police arsenal. It is designed to kill, to violently tear apart whoever is unfortunate enough to be on the wrong end of it. And that's what happened to my brother. Less than 50 minutes after 3 people sauntered into the police station claiming that Julian had robbed them. It took these 3 people three hours to report this alleged robbery, but only 50 minutes for the Brea PD to set up an ambush in front of my parents' house with an assault rifle at ready. Now, as we all know, this is Yorba Linda. It's a quiet residential street that we live on, just like the one that you live on, that any of you live on, with your families and with your children. The rifle that killed Julian is deadly at 700 yards. Julian was shot from less than 40 feet away. This was, at best, in reckless disregard of the entire neighborhood. What if they had missed? How can the Brea PD, whose sworn duty is to protect the members of this community, justify using that weapon, especially with a complete disregard of my brother's due process rights? The answer is that they can't. Instead, they are hiding behind a badge of silence, unable to explain themselves, and unwilling to be held accountable for their actions, irresponsibly adhering to a gang mentality and first protecting each other before protecting us. I ask you to take a higher road and refrain from doing the same. Tonight, you commend the former manager of the Professional Standards Unit, whose responsibility it is to reduce the incidence of employee misconduct. This is like rubbing salt on our wounds. You, Council, have turned a blind eye to the misconduct of the Brea Police. You have failed to even mention the shooting of my brother, and it has been 2 months since he was killed. After killing my brother with a high-power rifle, the police subsequently, and without cause, arrested my parents, holding them in separate police cars for hours. They dehumanized them and refused them the sacred right of seeing their son's dead body at the hospital. They have shown my family and I a complete lack of humanity and a lack of respect for the sanctity of human life. This is blatant police misconduct, blatantly poor training. The Brea Police have failed and you commend them? This is disappointing to say the least, but more than that, this is terrifying to me and to my family and to the whole city. The officer shooter is back at work after a 3-day administrative leave. The Brea Police claim that they do not tolerate abuse of law enforcement authority, but in fact, they are endorsing it. The shooter has not been exonerated for any wrongdoing. In fact, the DA has not completed its investigation into whether or not to file charges. This police officer poses a danger to us all. Yet, the Brea police think it's okay for the shooter to be back on duty with a gun in hand. I believe we all have a right to know why. And so, I am before you today to ask that you live up to your duty as representatives of this community, to ask you to use your power responsibly. Demand that the Orange County District Attorney conduct a thorough and unbiased investigation into the horrific murder of my brother, into the horrific murder of a young man in our community by our contracted police agency. Demand that if there is any misconduct, any criminal conduct connected to the murder of my brother, that the shooter be charged immediately and that the police be held accountable. Implement stronger regulations on the police carrying weapons of war. The people of Yorba Linda should not be paying the Brea Police Department for what they have done, for murdering an unarmed resident of Yorba Linda in front of his home with a high-powered rifle and then lying about it. My family and I deserve more than that. The people of Yorba Linda deserve more than that. We want answers and we want accountability. The Brea Police Department and our agreement with them needs serious reform and reconsideration. I urge you tonight to reconsider our agreement with the Brea Police and to permanently remove them from our city as soon as possible. Good police are fundamental to prosperous and peaceful community, but bad police are a danger to us all. Mr. Mayor, council people, thank you for your time tonight. I hope to hear from you soon, and I expect to see action on this immediately.
Thank you, Michele, and I'll tell you I'm very sorry for the grief that you're going through and for the loss of your brother.
Thank you.
Next, please.
Good evening, Council. My name is